tapotapyatadharunam nava vishvasjo yushman yenatvat rajya vibhu savayadamahadevo mama viryo paprimhitah menekillam ivatmanam udhyatha swagakarmani tame bhito devas tapotapyatadharunam Nava Vishwashajo Yusman Yenatha Rashidha Vibhu Savayada Mahadevo Mama Viryo Prabrimhitaha Menekillam Ivatmanam Udyata Swarga Karmani Saptame Bihito Devas Tapotapyatadharunam Nava Vishwashajo Yusman Yenadha Vrasija Vibhu. So, do we have, I guess, if anybody online wants to repeat?
Savayada Mahadevo Mama Viryo Abrimhitaha Mene Kilam Ivatmanam Udyata Swagadharmani Atame Bhito Devastapo Tapyata Darunam Nava Vishwa Srijo Yusman Yenadav Astrijad Vivahu.
Sure. Anybody else?
Savayada Mahadevo Mama Viryo Pabrimhitaha Mene Kilam Ivatmanam Udyata Svarga Karmani Atame Bhito Devas Tapo Tapyata Darinam Navavishvasrajo Yushman Yenadav Astrajad Vibhuhu.
Okay. Word for word. Saha, that Lord Brahma. Vai, indeed. Yadha, when. Mahadevaha, the chief of all the demigods. Mama, my. Virya upabrimhitaha, being increased by the potency. Mene, thoughts. Kilam, incapable. Eva, as if. Atmanam, himself. Udyataha, attempting. Swargakarani, in the creation of the universal affairs. Ata, at that time. Me, by me. Abhihitaha, advised. Devaha, that Lord Brahma. Tapaha, austerity. Tapyata, performed. Varunam, extremely difficult. Nava, 9. Visvasrijaha, important personalities to create the universe. Yusman, all of you. Yena, by whom? Adhau, in the beginning. Asrijat, created. Vibhuhu, the great. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vijay. Translation. When the chief Lord of the universe, Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, having been inspired by my energy, was attempting to create, he thought himself incapable. Therefore I gave him advice, and in accordance with my instructions he underwent extremely difficult austerities. Because of these austerities, the great Lord Brahma was able to create 9 personalities, including you, to help him in the functions of creation. Report. Nothing is possible without tapasya. Lord Brahma, however, was empowered to create this entire universe because of his austerities. The more we engage in austerities, the more we become powerful by the grace of the Lord. Therefore, Rishabhadev advised his sons, Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam sudhyet. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified. Bhagavatam 5:51. In our material existence, we are impure, and therefore we cannot do anything wonderful. But if we purify our existence by tapasya, we can do wonderful things by the grace of the Lord. Therefore, tapasya is very important, as stressed in this verse. Savayadha Mahadevo Mama Veyo Prabhimbita Menekillam Ivatmanam Udyata Swargakarmani Tame Bhito Devas Tapotap Yattadharunam Navavishwasajo Yusman Yenadva Vrasaja Vibhuhu. When the chief lord of the universe, Lord Brahma, Swayambhu, having been inspired by my energy, was attempting to create, he thought himself incapable. Therefore I gave him advice, and in accordance with my instructions, he underwent extremely difficult austerities. Because of these austerities, the great Lord Brahma was able to create 9 personalities, including you, to help him in the functions of creation. Om Ajnanamirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Tatsurun Militam Yena Smai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanyamanoਭीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजतां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सावेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Shtal He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Lakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhishta Sindhu पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे त्वं करोति वचलं पङ्गुलङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं निरधारणम् Krishna. The Hamsa Guhya prayers. In this chapter, around the 23rd verse, Prajapati Daksha begins his prayers to the Lord to be empowered to do his service. And in the particular verse we're looking at today, the Lord has appeared before Prajapati Daksha, and he's explaining to him how nothing is possible without tapasya. He's telling how Lord Brahma was able to do his creative function because of his austerities and because of the instructions that he had imparted onto him. And so, in Prabhupada's purport, he starts it with, nothing is possible without tapasya. And over the next couple sentences, Prabhupada starts to describe tapasya spiritually, but I was also thinking materially, nothing is possible without some tapasya. And we see even throughout the Bhagavatam that we have these different demons that have performed great tapasya to acquire their power to be able to carry out their nefarious activities. And even in today's world, whatever material activities are carried out, there's a great endeavor involved. I live in New York City, and there's all these skyscraper buildings, high rises, and there's a great austerity involved in building these buildings. The material that has to be acquired, all the manpower that has to be put together, the planning, just for one building. What to imagine for creating the whole universe? So we see the greatness of the Lord can be seen in the different activities that can be carried out by his devotees. So there's a couple of things I want to touch on. One is prayers, and the other being tapasya. So in this particular chapter, which is named the Hamsaguya prayers, we see that Prajapati Daksha is praying to be empowered to do his service. Lord Brahma was mentioned in this verse, how he prayed to be able to do his service of creation. And throughout the Bhagavatam, we see different personalities, great personalities, that are first, before endeavoring to carry out a mission or a task, that they pray to the Lord. Some examples that I thought of: Queen Kunti, Kardama Muni, Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Brahma, which of course is mentioned here, and then just prayers in general: Indra, Pitu Maharaj, Priyarata, his prayers are also there. And I was thinking also the prayers of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's prayers on the Jaladuta, when he was coming to the West to carry out the mission and instructions of his spiritual master. And we see generally when prayers are made, they start out by glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this helps put things in perspective. And we see even here when Daksha started his prayers on text number 40, he said, was it 40? Or 23, sorry. He started on verse number 23. Prajapati Daksha said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the illusory energy and the physical categories it produces. He possesses the potency for unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower. He is the controller of the living entities and the illusory energy. The conditioned souls who have accepted this material manifestation as everything cannot see him, for he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge. Self-evident and self-sufficient, he is not caused by any superior cause. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So this that he's the cause of all causes. Similarly, Lord Brahma in his Brahma Samhita begins, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachira Ananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The Supreme Ishvara, the Supreme Controller, is Govinda, Krishna. And he has no other cause, but he is the cause of all causes. And the importance of prayers is that the devotee is putting himself in a position of subordinate to the Lord, and also realizing that nothing can happen without the mercy of the Lord. So prayers play a central part in our Krishna conscious practice. As we see every morning, we begin Mangalarti with the prayers of the spiritual master. Bhande Guru Shri Charananavindam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. Yasha prasada bhagavat prasada, yasha prasad magati kutopi. Dhyans tuam stasya yashastri sanyam, bhande guru shri charananavindam. 3 times a day, I'm offering my most respectful obeisances unto such a great personality. If the spiritual master is pleased, then Krishna can be pleased. But if we don't please the spiritual master, then we cannot know our destination. Nagati kutopi. And then we go into prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, praying for protection. And then we go to prayers to Tulsi Maharani, praying to be benedicted with entrance into Vrindavan service, in Vrindavan service to Shri Radha and Krishna. And then we're praying to the spiritual master, we're praying to Srila Prabhupada. We're offering our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for speaking to us, giving the words emanating from the spiritual master are dissipating the ignorance. We're offering homage onto Srila Prabhupada, onto the spiritual master like that. And then of course we have our japa period, which is prayers again. 2 hours of prayers. Please, Krishna, please engage me in your service. So it's interesting because in our tradition, we're told the goal is 24 hours a day, being engaged in constantly thinking of Radha and Krishna, and ultimately is constantly praying to Radha and Krishna, to the spirit, to the spiritual master, to engage us in Krishna's service. So I was just thinking how in practically no other tradition do you have this 24 hours a day consciousness, that I'm 24 hours a day remembering the mercy of my spiritual master, 24 hours a day trying to cry out to the Lord. So we see that Srila Prabhupada gave us such a high goal, a high level of practice that is incomprehensible for a lot of people. And so we endeavor to engage ourselves in that way. Now, of course, we have various things that we do. And going now into tapasya, it can be standing in a ring of fire in the middle of summer, or it can be standing in a frozen lake in the middle of winter. That's tapasya that the yogis do. But our tapasya, and the tapasya Srila Prabhupada has given us, is to engage everything in Krishna's service. Yat karosi yasnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat guru samararpanam. Everything you do, everything you eat, offer it in service, offer it onto me. So devotees are engaged in various different ways. Right now we have devotees who are dressing the deities. It's a form of service. We have devotees who are cooking. It's a form of service. We have some devotees who are taking care of the cows. Again, service. We have devotees who are taking care of their families right now. That is a great service and a very important service. So the Krishna conscious person, tapasya, is different than you could say, the yogis in the Himalayas. Our tapasya is that the devotee's tapasya is that he's endeavoring to connect everything to Krishna. And by constantly thinking how I can connect this to Krishna, Krishna gives the intelligence. Te samsatata yuktanam vajatam pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam henamam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. Krishna is within every atom. Adantarastam parmanu chayantarastam. So for any scientists out there, we know that atoms make up every single thing around us. So we can just imagine for a second that within every single atom, Krishna is there. So this is why Krishna's actually all merciful, and he's ready. Not only is he he's willing, he's so enthusiastic to help his devotees advance in Krishna consciousness, advance in his service. That he's just waiting for us to ask, how can I serve? This just 4 months ago, I got married, and that is a great service. I'm just starting to learn you could say, yeah, the glories of being a grihasta because it actually is an amazing training ground to develop selflessness. No kids yet, but I know once that comes, that's even more surrender. And I had to then taking up a job outside. And so I was feeling, okay, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna start working. And to me, it was like started to be a great tapasya. Like I was thinking, oh no, now I'm gonna have to be with these people in the world. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lose my Krishna consciousness. I'm thinking that way after being in the temple for so long. But then Krishna started to make the arrangements. So I work as a licensed real estate salesperson. And when I went to the office and I began my coaching, the coach right away told me, you have to make an online presence, social media. And I was thinking, oh no, I don't like to be on social media. But they were like, you have to find what's the one thing that makes you unique. So I told them, I used to be a monk. And so she said, okay, that's it. You do that and just put it out there. So she saw me with my tilak and she said, wear that all the time, even at the open houses. It'll get people interested in to talk to you. And then she told me at open houses, I also have to I can share some of the stuff that's important to me. So I bring out books to the open houses. And my wife makes prasadam, cookies. And we have kirtan playing. And she even told me to wear, to, when I can, wear devotional clothing as well. She said, because this is going to be unique. And I met a man in my training also who said actually people who really become successful in this world, they're like the giraffe. You see, the giraffe stands out above the crowd. Its neck is so high that it can be seen by everyone. So he said, just be a giraffe. And don't worry. That's because of the way you look and because of the things you believe in, then those are not the type of people you want around you anyway. So I thought, wow, Krishna's really just like throwing it at me. Like, yeah, this is what you got to do. Don't worry. Just be a devotee. Try to serve me, and I'll take care of you. So it is a tapasya. No, it is a tapasya because our mind will tell us differently because the world is going, you say, in a different direction. So the tapasya we're undergoing every day is to try to focus on Krishna. Not try, we want to focus on Krishna. That is the tapasya, to force the mind to be present, especially in our sadhana. When Prabhupada was asked, what is the tapasya for this age? He said, your sadhana is your tapasya. You've taken this vow to follow the four regular principles, to chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beads. And this is the tapasya we're undergoing every single day, is focusing the mind on the holy names, on the sound vibration of the holy names, letting that vibration take over in the sense of not letting the thoughts in our mind come in, but just focusing on Krishna. And then the sixfold symptoms of surrender, accepting things that are favorable for Krishna service, rejecting things that are unfavorable for Krishna service, considering Krishna my only protector, considering Krishna my only maintainer, having no will other than the Lord, and becoming meek and humble before the Lord, making a constant endeavor to keep these these factors or these points at the forefront of our activities, the forefront of our consciousness. My spiritual master told me when he has to make any big decisions in his life, he always bases on what's best for my service. Because this means we're putting Krishna first. We're putting Krishna first. And when we put Krishna first, Krishna will put us first. And Krishna has the ability to put every one of us first because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's the only one that can make sure that everyone needs are taken care of simultaneously. So, of course, being in this world and being a conditioned soul, the tendency is to think that I am in control. I am in control. But we are not in control. This is the false ego making us think that we're in control. So, constantly endeavoring to situate ourselves in our proper position of being das, anudhas, anudhas, being eternally Krishna's servant, is what will ultimately help us overcome the difficulties that will arise. Because it isn't, a lot of times, people may think that coming to spiritual life just means shanti, everything is peace. No, problems will still happen. It isn't just because you come to Krishna consciousness, that's it, there will be no more problems. But you will have the proper perspective to handle the situations that arise before you. You will have the proper perspective to take shelter when seemingly impossible circumstances arise. Because at the end of the day, whatever problems we may be having, and this is not to diminish if anybody's going through some difficulty. Of course, these are, I know, everyone goes through them, and I also have my struggles. The point being, though, that Krishna's mercy is greater than any difficulties we may be undergoing, and to keep the end goal in mind, understanding that whatever we may be going through to the goal are just, you can say, road bumps on the way. Because in this way, we can maintain enthusiasm to engage in the process of Krishna consciousness. Because even though a lifetime is short, at the same time, it seems long, or it can seem long. Because the day by day, sometimes we may think, oh, now I have to wake up and I took this vow to chant these rounds and to follow these principles. And if we're out in the world and most people are not doing that, it may seem like sometimes the thought may creep in. I know sometimes it does for me, like, why am I doing this? What is the point? But then coming back to Bhagavatam, this is why Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, every single day, hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam properly again situates us, our consciousness in Krishna's instructions. And also remembering the instructions of our spiritual master. As here Krishna is saying how he gave the instructions to Lord Brahma, and because Lord Brahma followed his instructions, he was able to perform his duty. So similarly, he's saying this to Daksha, Prajapati Daksha. You just follow what I'm instructing, then you will be successful. And then similarly, in our individual lives, if we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, we will be successful. We may not understand how that success will come about, but rest assured that it will. Because that guarantee is backed by Krishna. And that is 100% guarantee. That is the investment. That is the sure investment in this material world. The surest investment that we invest in Krishna, that is eternal credit that we will have forever and ever. So when the spiritual master we see in Srila Prabhupada's life, Vyavasayatmaka buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushaka yanantasya bhulayo vyavasayina. And Prabhupada would often quote this verse, and he would quote specifically Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on this verse, which says, here, my spiritual master's instructions are my sadhana and my life, both in the beginning stages of bhakti as well as in bhakti's perfectional stage. I desire only to follow his instructions. I accept nothing else as my life's work, even in dreams, whether I'm happy or distressed, whether the material world remains or is destroyed. I don't care. There is no loss for me. I simply must carry out the orders of my spiritual master. And this is from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Bhagavad Gita 241. So we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada how he was unwavering in being fixed in the instructions of his spiritual master. And ultimately, this is what led to his success. Prabhupada would mention that I never felt separated from my spiritual master. I always felt that I carried his instructions within my heart. And he said, my only success was that I tried to carry out the instructions of my spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada also said that he would just think, how can I do? How can I do? How can I do? Because we may receive an instruction, and then, of course, the how-to manual doesn't come with the instruction how to do it. But we meditate and we endeavor sincerely to carry out the instruction. Sincerely is a word that comes from the word sincere or sincera, which means without wax. So this was a term that was used in Europe or in Latin, that when marble was given, if it was sincera or sincere marble, that means it had no wax to cover up the imperfections. So similarly, if we're sincere, we're not covering up ourselves, pretending to be something that we're not, then we will for sure have all success, because Krishna is in the heart. Krishna is seeing our endeavor, and Krishna knows our sincerity of purpose. And we cannot fool Krishna. We cannot fool Krishna. We can try, but in the end, it'll be us that are ultimately fooled. So in this way, trying to or endeavoring to carry out the order of the spiritual master, having the tapasya of carrying out our initiation vows, or engaging in that tapasya, will surely bring us all success. And at the end, knowing that all our endeavors are ultimately meant to satisfy Krishna, this will ultimately bring us all happiness. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suridham sarva bhutanam gyantamam santi richati. This can be the only peaceful person can be the person who understands that Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam, that Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and that he's a Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he's the controller of all the universes, and that he's Suridham Sarvabhutanam, he is our best friend. Ghantamam Shanti Richati, one who knows this can actually be peaceful. So this is the peace that everyone is looking for. Everyone is endeavoring for happiness. Everyone is endeavoring for peace. But if everyone's not trying to serve Krishna or endeavoring to serve Krishna, then they're missing the real peace formula, which is Krishna's satisfaction. This is what will bring us peace and happiness at the end of the day. And so in this way, to maintaining the instruction of the spiritual master forefront in one consciousness and endeavoring with all sincerity will bring us all success in Krishna consciousness. My spiritual master 8 years ago instructed me that my mission is to expand the movement that Srila Prabhupada started. I should especially be keen to see as Srila Prabhupada's books are widely distributed to as many people as possible all over the world, and that The process of distribution is passed down to the next few generations of devotees. And that should also consider reading Srila Prabhupada's books thoroughly and repeatedly and teaching others to do the same to be among the most valuable of all services. And to endeavor to do this to the best of my ability. So I repeat that every morning and every night. And I beg the mercy of all the devotees to please pray for me that I can continue to serve my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees for the rest of this life and life after life. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions, comments, reflections? Reflection is something that you heard in the talk that you'd like to throw back at us. Online?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
I
Krishna.
want to thank you for a wonderful class. It was very enlivening and inspiring. So many great points. And I especially like your determination to meditate on the instructions of your spiritual master, and that you actually have memorized them and recite them. That's so wonderful. Not everyone has the benefit of having specific instructions from their spiritual master like that they can recite concisely. Sometimes the instructions are very general, or some devotees don't actually have specific instructions, but just general instructions from their spiritual master. Or sometimes the instructions have to be inferred. Many Srila Prabhupada's disciples never had the benefit of getting his direct bodily association, but their instructions came by way of Srila Prabhupada's books and hearing from other disciples who reflected Srila Prabhupada by their words and actions. So you're very blessed to have such wonderful instructions. It's really nice. I have a question about you were quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and I missed what that specific verse was that he was commenting on. What was that once again?
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 41.
Okay, 241. Great. Yeah, that
Hare
was
Krishna, bro. Thank
nice.
you. Thank you again for your.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Amish.
So it's along where we will say about like what is some devotees they have a specific instruction from
So yeah, I'm just going to repeat for online. So Meshi Devi Das is saying some devotees have a specific instruction
their spiritual master,
of their spiritual master.
specifically what the mission to do.
This specifically, what is their mission to do?
Devotees have like a specific instruction,
How about the devotees that don't have a specific instruction?
the inspiration day by day, because
How they can keep the inspiration day by day
mission or purpose
if you don't have any mission or purpose in life,
exactly
or your guru exactly gave you an instruction.
so how to keep it.
So how you keep your enthusiasm and spiritual life going. Thank you for your question. Yeah, and as Taraka Prabhu mentioned, that many of spiritual Prabhupada's disciples they didn't have it, they didn't even have his direct association. So in those cases, what do we do? So we're very blessed, actually, in the society. And I thought of this when specifically I saw in my life when His Holiness Dhammakanara Maharaj departed from the planet. And I saw that while, yes, many of the disciples were very much, feeling the separation of their spiritual master, one thing that I saw was that because of the society that Srila Prabhupada has created, because of the family that Srila Prabhupada has created with this ISKCON society, there were so many devotees there, senior devotees there to help them and guide them and help them and for them to take shelter of for what to do next, or for what should I do now, or what can I do. Some of the disciples had been initiated, you know, right before Maharaj departed, so they didn't really get much of his association or much guidance from him. So what I would say is that we do have so many advanced devotees that are qualified to guide and to direct us, that if we take shelter, ultimately taking shelter, that is a solution. We take shelter of devotees that we know we can trust and that we love, and just reveal our mind to them and say, what can I do? Or I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling like I have no direction. What can I do? What can I do? How can I serve? And I think by asking this question always, how can I serve? Krishna is within the heart, certainly will not let us down. That's for certain, because actually, even in the purport of Bhagavad Gita 10:10, can you grab me Bhagavad Gita? This is one of the, sorry. In this purport, it's right here on the right commission. In this purport, Prabhupada mentions something mind-blowing. So anybody's ready to have their mind blown, not literally, but metaphorically. Here, he says, said, he says, Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. Very nice class. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion and render all kinds of services. To perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be done with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of spiritual realization, but is sincere and devoted, so here you go, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain him. So what I'm getting from this is Krishna is there, and as long as we're sincere, he'll continue to guide us. He'll continue to give direction, and he'll come to us in the form of other devotees. He will speak through us to us through other people. Just like it was interesting because I felt that my coach, even though she's like the polar opposite of what we consider a devotee, I felt that she spoke through me that day when she said, just wear your thing and just be who you are. And I was like, whoa, I was like, okay. Because I was thinking at that time, it was the disappearance day of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And I was thinking Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted high court judges to be on the bench wearing tilak. This is how I was thinking. I was like, oh, so like should I do that or is it gonna be too weird? And then she just straight up told me, she's like, wear it. And I was like, okay. And I took that as an instruction coming from Krishna. Just wear my tilak all the time. So yes, just to answer your question, take shelter of the devotees and be sincere in your service. So we all have the instructions from our spiritual master to chant 16 rounds and to follow the regular principles. And actually, this is something here speaking about. This is something my spiritual master wrote to his disciples. He said, a thought for all of you today. This was 3 years ago. Crystal clear answers to hard questions and solutions to difficult problems naturally arise in the minds and hearts of those who serve Krishna by loudly chanting and attentively listening to the Maha Mantra during their daily japa practice. So this is the key. The key is to be very attentive in our sadhana. And even the 4 laws of book distribution, it begins with your sadhana must be strong. So this law applies to any service. If your sadhana is strong and we're attentive and I was thinking this morning when I was chanting my japa, because I have a terrible habit and I've been working on it. Please pray for me, everyone. Where I pick up my phone during japa, and if it's nearby, I'll pick it up and I'll look at it, and I'm just like, every time I do it, I'm just like, I'm such an idiot. And I was thinking this morning, I left my phone in the room, and I was here in the temple room, and I was chanting japa, and I was thinking, this is like I'm on the phone with Krishna. Actually, I can think of japa like that, like I'm on the phone with Krishna. So why would I pick up pick up my actual phone while I'm on the phone with someone? It's completely disrespectful. So we're just focus, and then maybe we can hear. Maybe Krishna will talk to us if we're actually focused on our conversation with him in our job. And so let's see here. There's some stuff coming in on the chat. JV, or whatever JV is, it says, wonderful class. What is the difference between austerity and sacrifice? That's a good question. I would say there's some similarity between austerity and sacrifice. It's almost like something that in a conditioned state we might not want to do. We do it for a greater good. I'd say that's austerity. I think I would have to look up the etymological meanings or the deeper meanings of each word to be able to decipher that. But I think they're very similar. Austerity and sacrifice. Sometimes sacrifice we see that sometimes we give up. They sacrifice a person or animal. Like that's something we hear that as a sacrifice or a fire sacrifice. I think yeah, austerity may be something that we're doing. Sacrifice. Sometimes these words are used interchangeably. The nuance of the word I don't have exactly much further on that point. Please forgive me. And Alita Kishore says, Hare Krishna, thank you for your class, Gopal Champudas. Prabhu, I especially appreciate your point about being sincere, showing up as I am showing up as I am and asking for guidance, instruction, support from my Guru Maharaj and senior devotees, then follow the guidance and instructions. This takes courage and determination and perseverance. May our sadhana be strengthened by the Lord. Hare Krishna. And Taraka Prabhu has his hand raised.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. I wanted to say that with regards to the question about losing the or somehow not having the direct instruction of the spiritual master. Yeah, as you pointed out, sometimes devotees lose the association of their spiritual master, and so then what to do? Devotees asked this question of Srila Prabhupada on numerous occasions, and there were two things specifically that Srila Prabhupada mentioned. One, which you addressed very nicely, the idea that by the sincere performance of your sadhana, that you would receive guidance from Krishna, from Paramatma, that the spiritual master is the external representation of Paramatma, and when circumstantially one loses the benefit of that external manifestation of Paramatma, the Lord from within the heart will provide guidance. But the other thing that Srila Prabhupada said was that, and this was an instruction that he gave to generally all of his disciples who were not working directly under him, that you can serve him and please him by um, cooperating with his delegated chain of command. So there's the temple president, perhaps there's a temple commander, but so there are various authorities, the GBC and so on. By working with them, should have probably explained. You can please me by pleasing my representatives, your temple president, your GBC. If you want to know if I am pleased, if you please your temple president, the GBC will be pleased, and if the GBC is pleased, I will be pleased. So there's that.
All right.
Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think 8 o'clock was my cutoff point. It is 8 o'clock now. So thank you, dear devotees. I'll be here for a couple of weeks. By Krishna's mercy and by Radha Damodar's mercy, hopefully you can all tolerate me for that time. Vanchakalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanam Koti Vaishnava.
Sri Krishna Prabhupada ki jai.